Good morning, Peace Academy. The news today is brought to you by Saul
and Ruby.
Welcome to the Cyber Tiger News Show, where we bring you today's live newscast. Today is Wednesday, February 12, 2020. Welcome to the 106th day of school.
Now for today's weather report.
Today is expected to be cloudy. The high is expected to be 57 degrees Fahrenheit. The low this evening is projected to be 28 degrees Fahrenheit with a 10% chance of rain. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Jeremiah. What's on the menu today?
The menu today is beef taco meat, totally taco, triangles, Spanish rice, taco shells and cheese, fiesta salad, refried beans, salsa salad, and chilled pineapple.
The quote of the week is, "You're off to a great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way." Dr. Seuss.
At this time, please stand for the pledges of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible. Now for a moment of silence.
The Tiger Roars for today are Saul Flores. He passed his 18 benchmark with Masters. He showed persistence.
Gamaliel Alexander. He cleaned up a mess he accidentally made during breakfast. He earned responsibility.
Lonnie Hickey. He passed his 18th benchmark with Masters. He showed persistence.
Cash Palacios. Always on task and doing what is expected. He earned responsibility. Congratulations. Please come to the New Show studio to pick up your certificates. The following video contains instructions for third and up, as you will be taking your mock star test this week. Please pay attention to these instructions.
Good morning, buenos dias, Peace students. This is Gabriel Salgado, your school principal. First of all, I want to wish you the best of the lucks today and tomorrow and this entire week, because this week is very important for us. We are taking our STAR interim assessments, which pretty much are going to let us know how you can do in STAR if you were to take the STAR today. So this test is really serious. Take it very seriously. Also, myself, Miss Duell, Mr. Cook, Miss Fenton, Miss Bailey, and Mr. Burkett, we're going to be giving rounds throughout the school to be checking that you're doing your strategies. We're expecting you to do strategies on reading and math and science and writing and all of the testings that you have. And it's very important that even though your test is in the computer, you still do all of your strategies. Having the test in the computer does not mean that you are exempt from doing those strategies. So here are a few of the things that we expect you to do. Number one, you're probably going to get some scratch paper in order to do your strategies. In there, you're going to write your name, Gabriel Salgado. You're going to write your date, and of course, you're going to write your goal. 98, 100. Now, this goal, this number, is not a number that you make up. It's a number that you and your teacher have worked in order to make your goal for this year. Now, if it's math, you're going to have probably a template like this. You're also going to have your name, your date, and your goal. So, I wish you the best of the lucks. I'm going to go ahead and explain a few things, a few of the tools that you can use on your STAR online testing. And also, I'm going to explain how to use this particular template in math in case you have not used it. Thank you. So this is your math template. Here you're going to have 5 spaces where you can do your work. Of course, you're going to have several pages of this. You're going to write the question number that you're working on. So 1, 2, 3, and so on. Here where it says work is where you're going to show us the work that you are doing in order to get your answer. You must show every single little detail about your work. So if you're multiplying 27 times 3, you're going to show us 27 times 3. So that'll be 3 times 7 equals 21. You carry the number 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. And the 2 equals 8. So if this is your final answer, you're going to write your final answer here, 81. And you're going to specify whether it was A, B, C, or D. Or in some cases it's going to be agreeable, so you're just going to get the number. And you can write A. We are expecting to see work in every one of these for every single question that you have in the test. You may have 20, 26, 30 questions, and all of your questions should have one of this. Hey kids, this is the way your test may look like once you start taking the test. This is a reading test. I'm going to show you some of the tools that you can use during your test. The first thing you're going to notice is that here at the bottom, you're going to have different tabs, 1 through 6, 7 through 12, 13 to 24, and so on. Basically, these tabs are your navigation bar for your questions. If I want to go to questions 7 through 12, there they are, 13 to 24, and basically they go by text passage. Also here at the bottom you have numbers 1 through 6. In case you want to move to a different question, you can always go to that question. Remember that there's a few questions that we have that are considered freebies, that you don't have to read the entire story in order to try to answer. But there's several of them that you do need to read the entire story in order to answer. So the next tool I want to talk about is the guideline tool. The guideline tool here is basically like your finger when you read. It allows you to follow the same line so that you don't skip. And it makes it easier to read. Then we have a tool called Eliminator. The Eliminator basically allows you to scratch out some of the answer choices that you think that are wrong. So you can always use the Eliminator on top of it to eliminate, and click again in order if you made a mistake. At the end you can choose whatever you think is the right answer. Then we have the sticky notes. The sticky notes, you can write them wherever you want on the screen. You can write them by the question, you can write them by the text passage. I would suggest that if you're not writing your gist, which is your summary for each paragraph, you write it on the sticky notes and you write your summary. Of course, you don't write summary of paragraph, you write the actual summary for each paragraph. I suggest that you always close them off. That way they are not in the middle of your reading. If you always need to refer back, you just click on it in order to read them. Then we have the pencil. The pencil can allow you, for instance, to circle words. Can allow you to make some notes, although I think making notes here is really hard. I would suggest that you make your notes on your paper. It will allow you to make points. So if you want to do like a maybe dot, maybe this is the right answer. Maybe this is the right answer. You can use the maybe dot, or you can use lines in case you want to underline in a way that is easy. Now, there's also two more tools. One would be the highlight tool. So here in the question, I know that paragraph 6, they're already telling me that that's where I'm going to find my answer. So I'm going to select paragraph 6 with my mouse, and then I'm going to click highlight. If I need to erase, I select again and erase highlights. Here, the word risks, the word paragraph 6 are very important, so I'm going to highlight. And last but not least, you have a tool called Mark for Review. These are for questions that you are not 100% sure of the answer and you want to go back and check them at a later time during your test. Do remember that you are required to go through your test several times. I would suggest at least 3 times. But you're going to pay special attention to the ones that are marked for review. So for instance here, let's pretend I finished my test. All of the blue dots show me which ones are answered. The flag shows me which one I need to go back in particular. I just click on the number and I go back there in order to check my answer. Make sure that at the end of your test, when it says stop, you do not continue the test until you raise your hand and tell your teacher, so your teacher can come and check your test. This is the way it's going to look. After you click next on your last question, it's going to take you to the summary. You can check that you have everything right. You can always go back. Do not click end test until your teacher knows and has checked this. Thank you very much. Good luck.
This concludes this edition of the Cyber Tiger News. This is Ruby signing off.
And Saul signing off. Weather was by Jeremiah, Searcher was by Natalie, Sound was by Hazley, and our lovely director, Mrs. Spinoza.
Tune in tomorrow for another exciting edition of the Cyber Tiger News.
Have a tigerific day!